Welcome to another Burn Live show. Y'all marijuana keeping y'all connected with news and politics and things that's going on in the world. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers eye red, keeping underage, smoking on social media. Sitting here, killing myself for your entertainment. Sitting here with friends and families and friends, starting a cannabisation. I know it's been like a week or two since I've been live. They hit me with restrictions. So I sat back in the cut. I sat back and I watched a lot of videos and analyzed some things that have been going on, that's been taking place in the world, y'all. It's been really, really crazy. That's the best way to put it. It's been really, really suspect. It's been really, really diverse. That's a good question. It's a good way to try to put it. As y'all see in the title, we will be talking about certain things. You know, for one and foremost, this is a marijuana channel. We will be talking about marijuana things. We also will be talking about sanctuary cities and what do they stand for, what do they mean, who are sanctuary city. We'll be talking about a lot of things. We'll be discussing a lot of things that really, really will be going down. Oh, so when I was wondering what was unplugged, that was unplugged. Hold on. I was like, hold on. What is unplugged? Okay. I guess that's not working no more, huh, y'all? That's crazy. I said a good speaker. It's going to an end. That's crazy. That's sad. I'm so used to my speaker bringing a little life, a little color to the background. That's why y'all see me messing with it. But like I said, y'all, today we will be covering a lot of different things and stories and stuff that's going on. We will be covering it. So please get your bongs, get your weed, um, like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button if you please hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm here for my channel. Um, what's up, everybody? Like I said, once again, welcome to the channel. We've been discussing people that affects our states.
We've been talking about the biggest corporations. We also been talking about corporations that seems to want to take over America, who got the biggest influential advice over us, who runs the presidency. These are a lot of things that we have been talking about and have been discussing, and reports after reports after reports have came up. Um, we also learned about Larry French and George Soros. They are the biggest E ESCs in America. They run the capitalism. They run our U.S. military defense. We have been known to be one of the strongest. We used to be one of the strongest military defenses in the world. Now we're one of the weakest military defenses in the world. We do gotta, unfortunately, look at that, and we gotta try to fix that. I don't know if y'all really want to fix it. Y'all think that it's not an issue like that. I am standing on it that it is an issue. It is something that we need to stand up and fight for. If we don't think that we need to fight for it, I do got a couple of videos I will be playing soon. Just let me get a chance to share this out to a couple of groups. It helps with the rhythm, helps me, you know what I'm saying, share for people that actually like my videos and like watching the shows, who wants to sit here and smoke and learn some things. I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? Um, Man, I used to just like to smoke and just we can sit here and talk about anything and everything that was going on. We used to try to just bring motivational thoughts. Just like I think of something that was motivational, it sounded positive. Let's bring it to the channel. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. And let's see if we can move on and better each other by doing it. Now it has come to like, okay, these things are actually happening, but where are our solutions at to try to make the problem better, make the situations better? And that's where I feel we have come to the problem where we're getting out here, we're doing this, but we're not actually coming to no solutions. Nobody's came to no solutions. Nobody thought about no solutions. Nobody thought about what is our proper steps into solving that. So, without a further ado, you know what I'm saying, with problems like that, you go find resources. I had a good coworker who was telling me that the government was trying to kill us, the government was wrong, the government was outstandingly trying to do what's wrong. So I was like, okay, cool. That's right. But who are these people that we're looking for? Who are these people that we was talking about? And he couldn't technically say their names or know who they were. And I appreciate him even bringing it to my attention because I took the time out to go look and see these guys and see who these government officials are. And mostly people that I found out were lobbyists, big people that was over the government who was trying to control the government for what they felt was right. Okay, cool. Yeah, you thinking like everybody else is thinking. Mike, Capiche, you're right. The government doesn't like us. The government wants to kill all of us, wants to take over us, poison our food, what is it, LGM, MGO, whatever that food product is that's bad for us. Okay, yeah, you're right. But if we know that this is a problem, we know that these people are coming against us, we know the government is coming to attack us. These are things that almost everybody in America can agree upon. I mean, you can ask anybody, is the government trying to kill us? Yeah, the government trying to kill us. Okay, we agree upon. So why aren't we trying to figure out the names of these people that are trying to kill us, or trying to destroy us, or trying to hold us back, or trying to put us into, what's the other word? Trying to put us back into slavery, that we need to work on. We need to work on these things. We need to figure out who these people are. We need to actually try to stop them. So we found, like I said, we found one. LSG, uh, ESG, Larry Flint and George Soros owns 88% of our military based on what's going on. They are a monopoly. Monopolies are set up that nobody should be able to own over 50% of one shareholder. Just to come to find out, people like Walmart couldn't get too big because they didn't want them to be a big ass shareholder. But we steady let a company like Apple, who owns 58%, who got 58% of phones out here in America, 58% of the people in America and down there all over the world has an Apple product. Just for an example. These are what you call monopoly. These are what you call industry has taken over who we have allowed. Okay? We have allowed this to happen. So, if we so called have allowed this to happen, what else have we allowed to happen? Another big topic, which is what we finna actually get into first and break down and discuss and get a better understanding of, is sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. Who are sanctuary states and what do sanctuary states are? Now, this is another big issue I feel that's going on in America. Why do I say that I feel like this is a big issue going on in America? Listen here. When you got other people who come over here, got a bad background, got criminal background, and they're not coming over here the legal way, and then we offer them jobs, we offer them homes, we're offering them everything to get them off the streets. But yet again, and this is the kicker, you don't offer that same due diligence to the veterans that's out here on the street. You don't offer that same gratitude to the homeless that's here on the streets. So therefore, why would you give it to some illegals that definitely don't belong here? It has to be a money making issue. It has to be somebody making money from somewhere. You have to. So you know there's money making into it. But now states are actually fighting back and yelling, "Hey, this ain't right. There's too many illegal immigrants here, and we must stop. We must stop." This is what they're telling us. It was like, shoot. You know how black people are. We want reparations. You giving it to the illegals, give us our reparations. You give a black person reparations, and I guarantee you, you can invite any type of legal person up into America that you want. You give a black person some money. It's easy to pay off a black person. I'm just gonna put that out there. A black person, I'm black, so I can say this, is always looking for that easy handout, always looking for that pay cut to where they ain't gotta do as much. It's always somewhere. Now to get further into this, so I don't lose y'all. I want y'all to see what this looks like. How does this look? What does this shape into? The best person to break it down, I had to go find this video. So we're gonna watch it. It's only 12 minutes, but I will be stopping so I don't get in trouble or nothing. And we're gonna get into this.
Be able to go up to anybody and ask them for their ID? You think that's racial profiling, or you think that's something that's okay? If you say that's racist, you believe in sanctuary cities. If you say That's why we have cops. I want you to check an ID with somebody and say, hey, is this guy up to something good or bad? You're somebody that doesn't believe in sanctuary cities. In America, we have 11 sanctuary states: California, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Massachusetts, Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Vermont, Washington State, and Washington, D.C. These are sanctuary states. Aside from the 11 states, we have 500 cities in America that are sanctuary cities, a total of 20 million people living in those cities. That's 6% of our population, where they say we believe in sanctuary cities. What is a sanctuary city? The term was first used in 1980 to describe cities that refuse to cooperate with federal government's Immigration and Naturalization Service, INS, in the enforcement of immigration laws, meaning they defy the federal law. For example, in DC, a cop cannot ask somebody, hey, can I see your ID? That can be seen as racial profiling. The same applies in many different cities as Chicago and other places. And the reason why we chose to do this video on sanctuary cities is because just over the weekend, New York City, a video's been going viral showing 200 immigrants standing around saying, hey, New York City, hey, Mayor Adams, you said you're a sanctuary city since spring of 2022. You've attracted 93,000 people coming because you said, we'll take you. And matter of fact, 3% of all hotel rooms right now in New York City are being used for migrants. That's 3,500 rooms out of 125,000 hotel rooms where the government's paying for it. So, sanctuary cities, good idea, bad idea. What's the solution? We're going to talk about that today.
So he just broke down just what does it take for you to either think that you're a sanctuary city or not. Take the time out and think for yourself, like, do you fit into this category? Or do you think that you're a sanctuary city type of person? Would you open up your doors to a family that you don't know nothing about? Nothing about. You really got to think about this. You know what I'm saying? This is where I like to show people their true colors and their true sides and how they truly think. Not to expose them to nobody, not to put nobody down. Never to put nobody down. It's just to expose yourself to see who you truly
FBI and
are.
then FBI to ICE. ICE can come back to that police department, including sanctuary cities, and say, we want you to hold them for 48 more hours because we're going to do our due diligence. Sanctuary cities release the person and say, no, you can be left alone because we're worried, because if we don't do this, immigrants will no longer call the cops, because if immigrants don't want to call the cops because they're worried INS is going to show up, and if they don't call the cops, they're not helping local police officers to make sure the criminals are being caught. So we can't scare migrants. So that's why we don't check their IDs, because we got to kind of work together. That's kind of how the sales pitch is, right? So now let's look at the pros and cons on how both sides sells the pros. Those in favor of sanctuary cities. Number one, protect undocumented immigrants from deportation. It's kind of like the thing I was talking to you about. Let's not scare these guys. Number two, they promote community trust. When undocumented immigrants feel like they can trust local law enforcement, they are more likely to cooperate with law enforcement and report crimes. Number three, they are good for the economy. Undocumented immigrants often contribute to the economy by paying taxes and starting businesses and spending money in local communities. So that's the pros. Now let's look at the cons. They make it harder to enforce immigration laws. Number two, they encourage illegal immigration. Some people argue that sanctuary cities encourage illegal immigration as they create a safe haven for undocumented immigrants. Number three, they are a waste of taxpayers' money. Some people argue that sanctuary cities are a waste of taxpayers' money as they often require additional resources to implement and enforce their policies. For example, Mayor Adams, with all the problems he's having, guess who he's asking for money? The federal government. So let me get this straight. Do you live in New York City? Maybe you're in LA. Maybe you're in Miami. Maybe you're in Fort Lauderdale. Maybe you're in Dallas. It doesn't matter. You are now responsible to help support what's going on in New York City, even though that's not where you live. You see what happens with taxes. So they eventually go to the federal government to say, we need money. Matter of fact, the top 10 sanctuary cities, federal funding, you know how much they've been asking for? $2.27 billion. Who pays for that? You and I do. Let me just give you an idea about what some people have said about sanctuary cities on both sides, and I'll give you some testimonies of what's happened with some criminals in sanctuary cities.
Yet again, I want y'all to think, when y'all heard these, like, man, is this me? Is he describing me? If this is part of what your thoughts was when you thought about sanctuary cities, would you really involve yourself and call yourself, hey, I'm a sanctuary city. This is what I believe in. This is what I hope to accomplish for as my city. I want illegal immigrants here to help them prosper, and I can be one and I can feel good about myself. Or no, I don't want illegal immigrants here in my city because it's bad enough that I got homeless out the wazoo.
Cities. President Biden has supported sanctuary cities and has called on Congress to pass legislation to protect them. Mayor Garcetti of LA has said that sanctuary cities are a matter of life and death for undocumented immigrants. Senator Bernie Sanders has said that sanctuary cities are moral imperative and has called on Congress to pass legislation as well to protect them. Now, against sanctuary cities, President Trump has said sanctuary cities are an affront to the rule of law and has threatened to withhold federal funding from cities that do not cooperate with ICE. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has said sanctuary cities are a threat to public safety and has urged the Justice Department to take action against them. And Senator Ted Cruz has said sanctuary cities are a haven for criminals and has called on Congress to pass legislation that would defund them. Now, what kind of crime has been done in these sanctuary cities? Let me give you a couple stories. Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez, undocumented immigrant from Mexico who was convicted of killing a woman in San Francisco, California in 2015. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Luis Barcamontes is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico who was convicted of murdering 2 police officers in Sacramento, California in 2014. He was sentenced to death and is currently awaiting execution.
Wow. But then I can hear arguments in my head going back and forth, but like it doesn't matter because the same killing of immigrants is the same killing of niggas in the hood. And I'm probably the only person that can get away with saying stuff like that, so that's why I said it. We're probably these murders and crimes are the same equalization of niggas killing each other in the hood. I'm just saying.
On March 2022, a man named John Massine, a citizen of Haiti and illegal immigrant, was taken into custody for the murder of Terry and Brenda Altman and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Antonio Ulysses Perez, a 38-year-old illegal alien from El Salvador accused of rape after the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office failed to honor an ICE detainer and released him from custody.
Are you sick of having issues with your
Oh my
webinars,
God,
wasting
y'all, I gotta
tons of
pay to
time
get these
on
ads
troubleshooting with attendees?
So some of you may be watching this and you're for sanctuary cities. You may say, that's unfair, Pat. You're doing exactly what these guys are doing. Look at the names you're reading. You know, that's racial profiling. That's not fair. Well, we have to look at stats. And sometimes these stories are not easy stories to look at. So then the next conversation becomes, do illegal immigrants commit more crimes than legal immigrants? And this is what Cato Institute tells us. In 2018, the illegal immigrant criminal conviction rate was 782 per 100,000 versus legal immigrants was 535 per 100,000. Meanwhile, it's 1422 per 100,000 native-born Americans. So, legal immigrants commit the fewest crimes in America, people who came here illegally, okay? Then
I want y'all to yet again, like me, I sit back when I get these numbers, I get these statistics, and you think about something, you sit back. You got to sit back and look. You got to sit back and look at the numbers. You see the numbers, you see the statistics. When you work 10 years hard to come over here to America, to come sit and bear the fruitness. And I'm gonna say fruitness because there's a lot of benefits that people don't think that's here in America that are here in America. And I'd be like, wow. Fewer crimes admitted by illegal immigrants who did the right way to come here compared to criminal immigrants that illegal immigrants that are legal immigrants. I'm just saying, y'all see the numbers. I be wanting y'all to see this. This stuff be driving me crazy. And like I said, the next part where we're gonna get into into the indictment, this is gonna just drive me crazy because of what all the allegations and everything that's going around is going around. And when it go around, it comes back around, and then what do you hear? We're gonna get into that, but I want y'all to really pay attention.
Native-born Americans. So, legal immigrants commit the fewest crimes in America, people who came here illegally, okay? Then it's illegal immigrants then it's native born people that were born here, right? Those are the ratios you look at now. Some people will say, well, it's not correct because illegal immigrants, how do you track them? They're not documented, so you can't really, the numbers would be higher. It's skewed. You can't really do this. Fine. All I'm telling you is the number. So if we ask the question, there's 4 of us here, we're talking about this stuff. We asked the question, Mike says, I agree that illegal immigrants would commit fewer crimes than Native Americans because they're afraid of being sent back to their country. So they're more careful to not do anything. That is an argument that can be made. However, these are the numbers. When Trump was president, he made November 1st the National Day of Remembrance for Americans killed by illegal immigrants. He put the number 63,000. This is something that is concerning to a lot of people in America in different places to live. So now I got some thoughts on this that I want you to be thinking about. Point number 1, let's just say you're a sanctuary city and you're defying government law. Government, I'm not going to follow your guidelines with ICE, all this stuff. We're not going to do it because we're a sanctuary city. We want to make these immigrants feeling comfortable when they come here. But hey, we're going to need like $2.27 billion. Can you please send us some money because we kind of need your help to defy your laws? But can you please, because we care about immigrants more than our locals. I mean, I know it kind of sounds contradictory, but send us some money, please. We need your help, right? And we're not going to follow your rules. Do you see how stupid that sounds, right? Here's the next part too. Immigration. America's got 51 million people that are immigrants here.
Woo! No. They're not gonna let me bring it. They're not gonna let me.
Please, we need your help, right? And we're not going to follow your rules. Do you see how stupid that sounds, right? Here's the next part too. Immigration. America's got 51 million.
Look at that. 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 That's some shit for that ass. That is some shit for that ass. Let me put my mic a little bit closer. I don't care about the string no more. That's dangerous. When you look at statistics and when you look at numbers, when you see, and it's in a lot of categories that America be doing things tripling. You will almost say, and I don't know if he's going to say it on her because I haven't seen this video, but it almost make you want to say, like, are we getting bullied into doing things or spending money that we don't necessarily want to spend? We do this a lot in a lot of different categories, ladies and gentlemen. We spend money crazy in categories that you normally would think that you would carefully spend money. And I'm thankful for shows like this, statistics, when the numbers are being brought to your attention. I know it's not been brought to nobody else's attention like it's been brought to mine, but this is what I look for, is the numbers to show and prove what are we doing out here. What are we doing? How are we spending this money, man?
Million people that are immigrants here. Give or take the number, we're number 1. And you got some of the other countries in Russia, I think, Saudi Arabia. You got some of these other countries that are there. Great. I'm an immigrant. I came here legally. I lived in Germany at a refugee camp for 18 months. I remember living there. Local Germans didn't like us because we kind of did cause havoc and we messed up their culture a little bit. They didn't like us. It wasn't like, well, we're Germans. I'm like, well, I'm from Pakistan. I'm from Afghanistan. I'm from Czech. I'm from Yugoslavia. I'm from Albania. I'm from Poland. Well, this is, you come here and mess our stuff up and you're getting together with our daughters and messing up our culture. So that was a little bit uncomfortable for them, right? Finally, I came to the States and I'm grateful to be here. There's a couple things we have to be thinking about. What's more important to protect? People that are here or people that want to come here? It's a valid question, right? Who's more important? Well, of course, it's Americans. Do our policies protect more Americans or do they protect more people coming here? Well, Pat, you're not being empathetic. You don't understand. These people have a very tough life. Totally get it. I understand, right? But you can't say that and then you say, wow, why are we involved in all these wars? Well, these guys have tough lives, but let them solve their own problems. Exactly. So you can't say that, yet you say, let's do this, yet your city's a mess. And Mayor Adams is here talking about how they're in a conflict in New York because the citizens of New York are not happy because of what's going on in the city, but he still wants to be a sanctuary city because you understand how complicated this is.
I don't know the statistics. I don't know the number, but I do remember vividly that Trump said that most of these states get paid millions of dollars to withhold illegal immigrants when they do a crime, and you don't put them back to their countries, and you hold them, and then you push them back out into the streets. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's the problem. And listen here, I'm gonna say this. Let me get this out the way. Let me get this out the way. And this is not to all the black podcast channels out there. This is not to all of y'all, because some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all do a good job. You know what I'm saying? Democratic or Republican, however you put. But when y'all don't speak the truth, when you hide the thoughts of the truth, or like, man, or you forget how your neighborhood is, you forget how the ghetto is, that's where you be finding a problem. That's where people like, oh, the Alabama, those white people, they were crackers. They were Trump supporters. They were. How the hell do you know? I'm just throwing that out there because just like he said, how can you find out somebody's illegal immigrants that they really don't have no paper? It's all somehow documented? No. When an illegal gets found, finally, because they either did something wrong or something like that, just like for instance, I know for a fact now that a casino out here, because I live in Las Vegas, a casino out here that I know for a fact has 2 employees. So imagine all the casinos have at least 2 to 100. I'm gonna say 100 employees. That's illegal that works out here. They're trying to stay up under the radar. Who knows, if I commit a crime, I have a high risk of chance of getting sent back to my country. That's how it used to be. Now it's like, hey, if I commit a crime, I get locked up, I get pressed charges, whatever. Who cares about jail time? I'm still free over here in America, and they're gonna let me out. Okay? All right? That's more likely of what's going on and what you do see and what's the indications of how people think. Yeah. If I'm illegal and I know back in my country, I would either be shot and dead for things that I'm doing over here, and all I'm getting is jail time and 3 meals and a cot and a shower. They don't care. A lot of illegal immigrants ain't really used to no TV. These are the things that I want people to start saying, that they don't care about no TV. They read the paper, they see the TV, they watch, they're impressed, they're happy. Cause what they could have been doing is working on the farm, listening to the radio, getting the news. Where it was only presented to them by who's ever doing the news, however they was dictated to tell the news. That's why you see so many podcasters, so many people starting their own channels, talking the way they want to talk, bringing the way they want to talk, trying to get people to upload. Yeah, I know I'm totally doing it wrong. I should be out here uploading videos, but I still think I'm doing it my way. And
Are not happy because of what's going on in the city, but he still wants to be a sanctuary city because you understand how complicated this is. Let me give you another conversation here to be thinking about. Do you know what percentage Americans adopt? 2 to 4% American parents adopt. Now,
I'm adopted. This hit home to me because I'm adopted.
would you adopt? I got a question for you. Would you adopt? You may say, I think so. Okay, fair. You know what percentage of Americans support adopting? 33%. But only 2 to 4% do. You know what percentage of Americans are like, well, Sanctuary City is great. You support it? I do. Give us that 1 bedroom you're not using. Well, no. Let them go to somebody else's house, but not my house. What happened? Do you see the leak and the contradiction and the hypocrisy in these arguments that eventually, when it comes down to the individual, they say no? Now, why do some people adopt? Some people adopt because they can't have kids. Some people adopt because they want to give back to the community. They want to give back and contribute. Some people adopt because they go to church and a church is doing a sermon and a message saying, hey, there's a lot of kids that need help. Here's some stories. And somebody prays. They say, I want to go give back and I want to adopt. And some people say, I will only adopt children that are under the age of 2 because I don't want to adopt older kids because they're going to affect my kids. There's a lot of different ways to adopt. Now, ask the question why some people don't want to adopt. Well, I can't afford it. Fine. Number 2, I think it's going to mess up our culture if they come into our house. It's just going to really mess it up. And my kids are doing good. I don't want to confuse them. What if this kid that I'm adopting has drug issues and has seen stuff and they're going to tell my other kids and my kids start picking up the habit? I'm a little bit worried. These are all valid conversations that people have. Okay? Very valid conversations. But the idea of us, the way we sell America, I want me as an immigrant, I owe to America. I owe to the founding fathers. I am grateful to America. I don't look at it and say, what can America give me? I look at what can I give back to this country? Because I owe America. Some politicians want to say, no, America owes these guys. I think we're not making our priorities in the right place. There's many problems in the world, many of them. If we want to solve every single one of them, it'll come at a cost of us going bankrupt. You saw what happened to our rating. Fitch just downgraded us from a AAA to AA plus. This is the first time since 2011.
So, like I said, and I wait till he finished the whole part, and I wanted to say this. I'm adopted. I'm highly appreciated of my family who adopted me. Let me say that first and foremost, just in case any one of them stops through and watches this and be like, I can't believe he said that. Okay. I just wanted to say that. So, like I said, I am adopted. I highly appreciate it. My mother technically watches the show sometimes. Sometimes. Especially if it's something that she can relate to or something she wants to debate on, she will watch the show, and I appreciate. To say that when it comes to adopting an illegal immigrant or an immigrant, you do take the risk of bringing in another culture, another way of thinking, and brainwashing them into being Americanized. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just actually truthful of how you should just think about how it is. You can word it, you can reword it however you want to reword it, and that's one of the problems I think some people have taken into consideration is wording of things. When it comes to wording things, it's always, oh, I don't think you should say it like that, but it be the truthful points that matters. To me, truthful points matter. If it's truthful that me and you disagree upon something, I'd rather be truthful about the things that we disagree upon. I'd rather not shy away from what we disagree upon. I'd rather go deeper into the part to where we disagree upon to learn. I want to learn how you think. I'm not here to put you down. I may feel some type of way. I might feel insulted. I might feel all the way. But I am strong enough. I am a man enough to understand, to listen, to able to sit back and say, oh, that's how they thought. When somebody adopted, you got to take that into consideration. All what you are willing to instill within that child. Are you willing to teach them this, that, this, that, this? It's a lot. So when you're bringing in a different culture, you know, is you that's like slavery. Yes, I said it. Because you're finna change that whole demeanor of how that person used to be raised and was supposed to be raised. Is it bad or wrong? It depends on how that person grow up and turns into. If he turns into be a successful business person, like the person you see on this screen, he was living in another country. He learned that country ways. He came over here to America. He got technically brainwashed into living American way. Look at him, successful, looking good, empire, got his thing going. So when you say certain words, you know what I'm saying, you might like, oh my God, he's the worst person on. But then if you actually look at the context of what the person's actually going through, then you can say, okay, that's what he meant. And I just use words. I'd rather use harsh words to mean exactly what I'm saying because technically that's what's happening. It just people have come to use other words to inform it, like adopt. When you adopt a child, you know what I'm saying? But when you drop the immigrant from Mexico, from Jamaica, from Spain, from any other country, and then you teach them this American way, that's brainwashing them into, yeah. That's, I mean, you can say that's sad, you can say that's wrong, you can be like, yo, that's messed up. I know. You can put it however you want to put it. But when it's all said and done, when you get done putting your inputs, is the bottom line is that person is not with his heritage how he is now. And that's where you come in. That's where you want to learn. And that's where you get into
The cards are maxed out and we're being downgraded. Yeah, but what are you saying? We shouldn't send our money to Ukraine? We sent more money to Ukraine last year than Russia has in their military budget every year. We could have spent that $70 to $100 billion in America. You know how many problems we could have solved? So many of them. Cops in schools, protection for our kids. There's so many veterans. There's so many things we could have done. So many things we could have done. But no, we're spending money because we want to solve everyone's problems. So what's the message here? Don't do immigration. This is the melting pot, Pat. We shouldn't do that. No, I'm grateful that they allowed me to come to America. But to just keep the door open and say anybody and everybody forget about the border, you know you don't believe in that. You know you don't live that way. You know you don't live your door open for anybody to come in. Why should America do that? Do you see how that sounds ridiculous? That's why Sanctuary City.
That's why you would think that anybody that does that, man, you got to be getting paid. You got to get paid. Right now, they'll be like, capiche, you have living room, a dining room, open space, you know what I'm saying? You can let a whole family in there. We're willing to pay, blase, blase, blase. I should be like, yeah, come on in. Open your door. What's up? Then I let one family in. I'm like, man, the money look good. I got a whole nother room back there. Let another family in. I doubled the profit. I double. Then I can go get another spot in another place, and then I keep. You see how people are. You see how the money is. It's got to be about the money. Most people wake up every day and they go get the what, y'all. So I don't want to hear people say, man, it's about this, it's about that. Because I used to say it was about the American way. I used to say it was about this. I used to say it was about that. But when it was all said and done, it was all about the money.
Doesn't make sense to tens of millions of people in America. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you've not seen my video I did on the
Okay, y'all. I had to break us down into that section and let us know what was going on. Now these next one is about all this indictment that's going on, man. They just indicting. And I seen a video because I was, y'all know me, I was trying to be a little picky and choosy and picky about some video. I also want to play this other video. I'm gonna play this one video toward the end. I do got a special video to play with y'all for $1,000. It's $1,000 game that was played, and I promise you, I'm only gonna play it toward the end of my show when I get done because the outcome is amazing. But real quick, we finna get into it. I do want to play this quick video because this is
everyone's raving about the funniest
this
comedy
is
of
funny.
the year.
Sign my baby!
It crushes for
Get it. A damn good show. Got some crazy people out there, man. Crazy. So this black man goes into an auto zone.
I gotta stop and talk and stop. So I'm stopping and talking for no fucking reason. So we can watch this fucking video because this is amazing.
Guess who's the crazy one? Check out this video,
It
man.
take a while to guess the black guy.
Yeah, he's been oppressed though. He's acting out.
Yeah, white people did him wrong.
Yeah, so he's fighting back.
He ain't smoked no weed. Okay. I have an argument for this video. Just to make an argument of a video of people, and it's a marijuana smoking video. Video. So, guy, like you said, is finna come up in here. When you have a stressed out job, a job that's stressful, high tolerance, things that you need to be done. You got to make sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted, every J gotta. I don't even know what that, but you understand what that is, okay? You're stressed out. Some people don't like drinking. When you don't like drinking, what else can you do to stress relieve without going on vacation, which you got to save for that? So this is an example of a job. I guarantee that he cannot smoke weed. I just guarantee you this, y'all. I guarantee this is why marijuana needs to be reduced for as job preference. You know what I'm saying? Marijuana needs to be treated just like you do alcohol. Hey, my boy, you can drink and have a job, but you can damn near can't smoke and have a job. You see what I'm saying? And you get outlashes like this. You get outlashes like this. Like this.
Is that him?
What type of day people is having? When you fuck with him?
You don't get for that good
I don't care.
He don't care. See, you see? Y'all see? He ain't smoked. If he would have smoked a blunt, y'all, says, like I said, this is a marijuana group. If he would have smoked, he wouldn't have went through this. If y'all disagree, y'all disagree. I don't think y'all disagree with me. I think y'all agree. Look at this shit. We don't do this shit when we smoked on some good ass weed.
I don't care. $8.75 an hour? What?
$8.75. Do you work at all?
I'm a motherfucking microbiologist.
What?
So do you want to compare credentials?
No, I'm saying.
Microbiologist. Huh? Let me rewind that so y'all can hear that one more again. One more again, what that boy is.
$8.75 an hour? What?
$8.75. Do you work at all?
I'm a motherfucking microbiologist.
What?
So do you want to compare credentials?
No, I'm saying.
You want to compare credentials? I got a bachelor's degree in microbiology. What do you got?
What do I got? I got a job here.
I thought there was a girl talking.
Well, do that.
Microbiologist. Somebody let me know. Is he smoking weed? I already answered it earlier, but y'all let me know, is he smoking weed? Let me know, is that man probably in a recreational state or a medical marijuana state, smelling weed everywhere, can't smoke weed. That's stressful. His job, you better not smoke weed. No. No, 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 no. No. That's stressful. That's stressing him out. That's stressing him the fuck out. So bad, he went it to AutoZone for an auto part and couldn't even get it.
Look, look.
Right. I got big nuts.
God.
You have a great Okay, no, please don't. Just let him.
Who are you talking to?
No.
Who you
You don't
talking
know what
to?
type of day people is having.
I don't know.
So who are you to comment?
God damn.
I don't take words.
Okay,
I do numbers. I don't take words.
Okay, with numbers.
I do numbers. I don't take
Alright.
words.
All right. Good for you.
You keep talking, I'm gonna be waiting for you outside.
Wait for him to get off work. Hey, it's gonna be like getting dark. He was like, "Yep, I'm still here, nigga." What you gonna say now?
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't. Big C is why would he bully an old man?
Cause he ain't got no weed. Y'all gotta understand, sometimes you need a little marijuana in your life because your job is just stressful. Your numbers, you know what I'm saying? He probably smoke weed once a year when he go on vacation. He goes to every state that's recreational and he goes smoke some shit. And he go, he like, man, only if I can go to work and smoke. I'm just saying, I know people be like, well, then pilots should be able to smoke. And you be like, oh my God, you had a pilot up there high as hell. I ain't say smoke while you're at work. Okay, some jobs, yes. Some jobs, yes. And I'm going to say it one more time. Some jobs, yes. You should not smoke while you're at it. There's people that shouldn't drink while they was at work, but they do it. Why? Because you can drink. And so, you know, I'm just saying, with a little bit stressful attitude, you'd be a little bit nicer trying to go into not having a job or having a job that you don't fucking like. Like I got a bachelor's degree, but damn, I can't smoke and it's stressful and my kids bad and shit. Y'all know how it is. My kids bad. Like, damn, brother, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And like he don't want to hear that, and you don't want to hear that, and nobody want to hear that. It's always nobody wants to hear that. Nobody. That's always like it is. But let me go find this video about all this locking people up. Because that's all people want to do. That's all they want to do. But I just heard this one earlier video. I couldn't take it. It's killing me. See if I can find where that video was coming from. The thing about this is, this video was like a little bit shocking to me. I'm gonna start off with this right here.
If you make less than $50,000 per year, then this message is for you. Congress just passed a free
Trump and the Republican Party is. If you own a gun, then just buying concealed carry insurance isn't enough to be prepared.
Till the election, they waited, and I probably have another one. They say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist, and they say, I guess they say that she was after a certain gang, and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office. What's going on in this country is, and by the way, wants to indict me for a perfect phone call. This was even better than my perfect call with Ukraine. Remember that call? That was a perfect call. This one's better. This one is more perfect. I challenged the election in Georgia, which I have every right to do. And they want to indict me because I challenged the election. So does that mean that Hillary Clinton, who challenged the election, does that mean that Stacey Abrams and all of the other, virtually every Democrat challenges the election? Does that mean, or they do the slate of electors? This has been going on since Thomas Jefferson. He wanted to say, but they don't call. They used my word. They took it and they said fake.
Several days later.
Every individual charged in the indictment is charged with one count of violating Georgia's Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act through participation in a criminal enterprise in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere to accomplish the illegal goal of allowing Donald J. Trump to seize the presidential term of office beginning on January 20th, 21.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about.
No, we don't. I just want to play that intro clip because that was the best intro clip to go into actual. Yeah, I'm finna start doing it this way too. Like, where, oh, where, oh, where. I know when I see it. I think this is it. And did I? Okay. All right. We're just gonna go to his channel. We're just gonna go to his channel. And where does he talk about it?
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
Georgia court website briefly publishes and removes documents about Trump's charges. Wow. Let's see what this is about. This is crazy.
Notice, y'all that be watching my channel, I go get the facts. I go get people who go look at the facts, who go break it down to the nitty gritty. Hasadiddy, I ain't playing with you. Okay? I like bringing these receipts. YouTube don't like me bringing receipts. Well, I gotta bring the receipts. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna bring something like this to my attention, and don't think that I'm finna go sit out here and go do the research for you and let you see that, hey, this is the breakdown. And for my black community, I'm going to go get the niggas. So it's not like you're like, oh, we're going to go get the white people to break it down. No, I go get niggas to break down this shit. Okay? So I don't want to hear none of that. Don't. Just don't. I just want to say that before we get into this.
Fulton County, Georgia court's website briefly posted a document on Monday listing several criminal charges against former U.S. President Trump that appeared related to his attempts to overturn the 2020 election defeat in the state before taking the documents down without explanation. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office said in a statement that no charges had been filed against Trump. Okay, they got a link to the document here. Let me just see how they describe the document. The document, which is dated August 14th, named Trump, citing the case as open, but is no longer available on the court's website. Rutgers was not immediately available to determine why the item was posted or removed. So this could just be a mistake. But I've been predicting Trump was going to get indicted in Georgia. As soon as they start talking, Trump, Indictment. I think after it's like one of those things. After the first one came down, then the second one came down, then the third one came down. It's just easier to make these things pop out. It's like, all right, well, these already been indicted 3 times. What's the fourth one? What's the fifth one? Which is kind of sick, but it's like you got to really understand that the sting of this thing isn't really going to be as much because of the other 3 indictments that he's facing. The Rutgers report that those charges were filed is inaccurate. Beyond that, we cannot comment. So they're saying that the document is inaccurate. A Georgia prosecutor, District Attorney Fannie Willis, has been probing whether Trump and his allies illegally sought to overturn the state's 2020 election results and has been expected to seek an indictment from a grand jury this week. If Trump is charged in Georgia, it will mark the 4th in less than 5 months and the second to arise from his efforts to overturn his loss to Joe Biden.
They gonna hand this the boy the White House. They gonna hand him straight the White House. They gonna hand Trump the White House. They gonna hand Trump the White House. We gonna turn it to the Trump house when he's done.
Biden in the 2020 presidential election. Now, 2 things. I don't know if the Fed case is really all that great. I understand Jack Smith, he's indicted Democrats before. Menendez, I think he prosecuted Menendez, Senator Bob Menendez. So, it gives him some credence about the whole, is he just politically motivated? But I don't think that case is as strong. I think the New York case is garbage. And I think this Fed case about, him conspiring to overturn the election when he was president, I think that has a lot of issues to it too. The documents case is a little different because I think the documents case has some legs. And I think this one, it all depends because I've listened to those phone calls and stuff, but I'd have to kind of see what the evidence is because I don't like to judge these things. It's like, that's just a witch hunt. I like to see the evidence and see what they put forward. If they put something that's legitimate, I'll say, okay, well, this looks good. If they put something that's doodle, I'll say it's doodle. In the New York case, I think if his name wasn't Trump, it would be a whole different story. The Fulton County Clerk's office could not immediately be reached for comment on the docket report. Representatives for the county and Trump also could not be immediately reached for comment.
This game, you're not ready for it.
The 2-page document cites violation of Georgia's RICO Act, solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer, but these have all been reported in the news, so these are nothing shocking here. Conspiracy to commit false statements in writing, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, among other charges. All right, so let's look at the document. Let's look at the document for ourselves instead of them telling us. So here is the document that they uploaded and then removed immediately.
These are the documents that they uploaded and released and deleted immediately. Okay, these are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Cold hard facts. Okay, cut to no bullshit. I'm not talking no shit. I'm not about here talking no shit. This are just the facts.
Immediately. So top of it. So this is 8:14 at 12:39 p.m. Details court. They even have a judicial officer here. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Date filed. Defendant, Donald John Trump. Birthdays X'd out, white male. Charges, Donald Trump. So first charge, violation of Georgia's RICO statute. Serious felony. And they said he committed this felony on 11/4/2020. Now this, 11/4/2020. That's an interesting one because I'm not sure. I think he was still president at this time, right? Oh, I think all these charges, they're saying he was still president at this time. This is interesting. So they're saying that he committed a RICO violation while he was still president in November 4th. Now, just for those of you who don't know, I forgot to explain RICO. RICO is organized crime. So generally, you remember how back in the day, they couldn't get like the top mob boss because the top mob boss would order other people to do it, but then that would be like this be hearsay, right? He told me to do it, that type of stuff. So it'd be hard to actually get the top guy. So they invented RICO. Now, RICO was like, okay, if you're part of a criminal organization, then everybody who's associated with the organization could go down. for the crimes, because the crimes were in furtherance of the criminal entity or the criminal organization.
What's
Now, the
up?
criminal organization didn't have to be real. Like, it didn't have to be like, something that was incorporated or something like that. It was just, a group of people who agreed to work together for a common goal. And that common goal happened to be an illegal, something legal, murder, for instance, racketeering, anything like that. So that's how generally they got the mob and the big people in the mob, because then you only need one person to flip, say, hey, we're all part of its organization, and this is what we were doing for this organization. And that's where you kind of get your RICO at. Solicitation of violation of oath by public officer. So in other words, I think that's what the phone call with Raffensperger, like, yo, I want you to find me the votes or whatever. Conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer. I think that's about the fake electors. That sounds like fake elector stuff. Conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. That's maybe having the fake elector sign the document saying that what's it called? What am I talking about? That their votes are going to go to Trump, because remember, the electors have to sign that, hey, these votes are going to a certain person. So I'm just assuming they had something to say, hey, our Georgia electors are going to vote for Trump, and that's probably why you have that charge. Again, I don't know. This is because, again, they said this is inaccurate. So who knows? This could all be. They may not even charge them, for all I know. I'm just reading the document and giving you my thoughts on it. Conspiracy to commit false statements in writing. That could be. Again, and that's one thing about criminal charges. Sometimes you can have one act, but it can lead to multiple different charges. Like, for instance, you can have a bank robbery, but also with the bank robbery, then you can have a gun charge. You can have, just because you did that one thing, it can lead to a lot of charges that kind of seem similar. Like, even also with a bank robbery, a lesser included offense could be just the robbery itself. One interesting part about this is that some states forbid this with what's called the merger rule. For instance, like in Georgia doesn't have a merger rule, but one of the best examples is Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin was charged with assault and murder. Now, generally, what the merger rule does is say, well, you can't. Well, every single murder is an assault. Think about it. Every murder is an assault. Somebody has to touch you or assault you to murder you. So the law generally says is that you can't charge somebody with murder and assault, because you're essentially charged for the same thing twice. But in states like Minnesota and Georgia, they allow you to charge someone with an assault, and if the person dies, with the murder. So you can be charged with both at the same time. They don't agree with the merger rule. So here it looks like they may be doing some of that too. We're charging them with both the underlying crime and
sticking him with every little bit of crime and buckets and buckets that they can stick that man with. That's the craziest shit. But I'm glad y'all got to see now that we broke that part down real quick. Shall we go off into this deeper?
The boost in the polls that Democrats have handed former President Donald J. Trump once again, as Trump is now facing his fourth indictment, because Democrats quite simply just want to interfere in the 2024 election. They want to rig it against the Republicans and Trump. And this is why they're coming out to Trump. They don't want him to win. This is what it is about, because it is not a crime to challenge the outcome of elections. If this was the case, then Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton and other Democrats would be doing time behind bars. However, that's not the case, because challenging an election is not a crime. And the woke DA out of Fulton County knows that. The reason why she's doing this, she's bringing this racketeering case against Trump, which is the main charge here, is because she cannot get an actual or a simple conspiracy charge against Trump, which is why she is stretching legally here to try to bring this racketeering case against Trump, which basically is a statute that is used to take down mob bosses and gang members, right? Right now, currently, this same DA is going after Young Thug and YSL for racketeering. And allegedly, according to some people, this DA is sleeping around with gang members. Who knows? Wouldn't be surprised at this point. But I'm actually going to let Mr. Andrew McCarthy, who is a fellow at the National Review, explain to you guys why this case is weak and why she's actually going for these racketeering charges. And
this shit is gonna get funny.
the first place, because again, this DA knows that she doesn't really have a case and that this is all being done for political gain. Take a look.
Yeah, I really think that it's a mistake for her to have brought a RICO case. I know she says she has experience in these prosecutions. I don't think this is a well thought out RICO. And I think in a nutshell, the problem that she has is the main thing that was the objective of the people that she has tried to cast as a racketeering enterprise was to retain Trump in office. So that was like a sort of a temporally fleeting objective. It wasn't a money generating thing. Like generally speaking, in the kind of organized crime entities that we're talking about, the reason that you have RICO is because there's an economic purpose to it. They generate money through the commission of a series of crimes, et cetera. Here, the objective here was not to be a member of a group like it is in a mafia case where, the objective is to be a member of the mafia family and to generate income through its activities. Here, the objective was a lawful one, which they may have used unlawful means occasionally to try to get over the finish line, which was to retain Trump in power. But that's not the kind of glue that would keep a racketeering organization together. So I just think that she's groping for a crime. What she really needs is a simple conspiracy that has a simple.
Y'all painting Trump as a thug. You giving him thug cases, and you wondering why he's finna win in the black community. Okay. I'm over-exaggerating. I'm going too far. I'm speculating. Just letting y'all know. Give him all these hood credits. And you wonder why he's going to win in the black community.
Full objective. A conspiracy is simply.
Okay, not with the black women, but who cares?
An agreement by two or more people to violate another law, some criminal law. And if retaining Trump in office was a crime, then she'd have an easy, simple, straight line conspiracy. She really doesn't have that because the objective is not illegal, even if some of the means they use to try to obtain the objective may have been.
Yeah. So again, like I told you guys, she really has nothing. Okay, she has nothing. But this is still a big deal because unlike the other cases, the federal charges, this is not an easy one for Trump to get out of, even if he is elected president, because it is the state bringing this case against him. He can't just pardon himself like he could with the case from Jack Smith involving, the election or whatever. He can't just do that. Okay. And again, this is the big one. This is the one that Democrats really want. But again, this prosecution, in my opinion, obviously is rigged. We know it's rigged because they filed the charges before the grand jury was even finished deliberating and deciding whether or not charges would be filed in the first place. And when they got caught doing this, basically rigging the process, the explanation from the woke DA was less than satisfactory.
The big question tonight, Doug, thank you so much. And within the past hour, we actually got a statement from the Fulton County Clerk of Court's office about a document that was leaked by a certain news outlet claiming to list 13 potential charges against former President Trump. 1111 investigator Zach Merchant digging to the bottom of this. Hey, Zach.
Hey, guys. Yeah, you're right. Now, around noon, Reuters reported that a document was briefly posted listing out a RICO charge as well as multiple charges for false statements and forgery tied to former President Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election results here in Georgia. It should be noted that what was shared online matches the formatting and wording of other Fulton County court records typically available online. But we want to stress this. We just got word from the clerk's office calling that document, quote, fictitious. The statement goes on to say that documents that do not bear an official case number, filing date, the name of the clerk of courts are not official filings and should not be treated as such. Now, as part of the legal process, it's not unusual for the DA's office to work with the clerk to get all of the charging documents ready prior to any potential indictment. But if nothing else, this gives us yet another indication that the DA may be anticipating a potential indictment against the former president.
All right, Zach, thank you so much for that update.
According to the Fulton County Clerk's Office that was circulated online with charges against former President Donald Trump. That fictitious document matched exactly the charges that we now see in this indictment. Can you tell us more about that document leak? Because now you have the former president's lawyers who are saying this is emblematic of a serious problem with your office.
No, I can't tell you anything about what you refer to. What I can tell you is that we had a grand jury here in Fulton County. They deliberated till almost 8 o'clock, if not right after 8 o'clock. An indictment was returned. It was true billed, and you now have an indictment. I am not an expert on clerks' duties or even administrative duties. I wouldn't know how to work that system, and so I'm not going to speculate. Next question.
Yeah, so what you have there is the standard non-answer that we usually get from affirmative action hires when they get caught up in their own corruption, right? She doesn't have an answer. The document is fictitious. We don't know why this happened, even though, again, this document outlined the charges that would eventually be bought, like officially bought against Trump, after the grand jury deliberated and decided. Again, it's just funny how that works, okay? I mean, clearly this process is rigged. I mean, if you listen to CNN talk about it and some of the guests they bought on, they're basically saying the quiet part out loud about why this is all happening, which is basically to keep Trump from running. And
they gonna help my boy run. I just want y'all to see this. If he got that one.
Black women, again, according to CNN,
feels different. You know what Donald Trump did his most damage in Georgia. He sucked the soul out of the Republican Party here. He's sucked the morality out of the Republican Party, the fiscal responsibility out of the Republican Party. He sucked our winning percentage out of the Republican Party. He's taken everything from us, and it is our turn to take it back. Right? It's our turn to win elections based on the policies that we think we're better on. This is the prime spot for us to take Joe Biden to the woodshed and call him out for not running the border right, not protecting our communities, not putting our best foot forward internationally. These are our moments in time. But if we make this about the three-ring circus of Donald Trump, we will lose, and lose again.
Bakari, you have a unique perspective all the way up there on this, not only as a lawyer, but as I would say, a recovering politician.
Amen to that.
Do you see in the Georgia indictment, do you see it as more danger for Donald Trump legally, politically, neither?
I think it's more danger for Donald Trump. There are a few reasons why. One, I think that you see the behavior, the overt acts that that laid out, the number of people, co-conspirators, even those unindicted. I believe there are 30 unindicted co-conspirators in this as well. This is truly a granular complaint that they spent months putting together, and you can see the effort and time that they used in putting this together. Also, it's a jury pool that he is not going to be very fond of. It's a Fulton County jury pool. I don't think he's going to have any issues with fairness, but he is going to go in and have to deal with a jury pool of his peers in Georgia, and he does not want to be in Atlanta. I can tell you that much. Also, on the back end, there's no mechanism whereby Brian Kemp can pardon him, as we already know. He doesn't have the ability, if he wins the election, say, and gets found guilty in D.C. or Miami, he can pardon himself. So I just feel like this is going to be a very, very uncomfortable situation. And last thing I'll mention is Donald Trump doesn't deal with Black women very well. I've mentioned that a few times over on the network. You know, he's had trouble with Yamiche. He's had trouble with our own Abby Phillip. And now he's going up against Fani. And I think that the way that she has postured herself and shown that she is not going to back down from him and shown that this isn't a partisan battle, this is a fight of right and wrong and accountability, is something that Donald Trump's probably not going to take very well.
Yeah. So again, amazing stuff. I mean, just openly admitting the quiet part out loud that everybody knows, which is that this whole process is rigged. Okay. Coming from Democrats and
yeah, I heard it from other Black people. This stuff is rigged. I'm not for to hold y'all too much longer, man. Y'all have a good day, good afternoon, good morning, whenever time you're watching this. Until next time, I'm your boy Capiche. Smoke a blunt for your boy. Peace.